Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the video. Supatease here. I just wanted to make a quick little PvP video, a Resto Druid healing guide. I'm going to be making a lot of different clip videos like this versus different compositions, different classes, and of course myself playing with different compositions as well. So in today's video, I'm playing with Zaryu and Tellarine, and we are playing Resto Druid, Arcane Mage, Windwalker Monk, which is a highly mobile, highly crowd control based composition, and we will be facing Thugonomics, Chanimal, and I believe if we jump into the clip I'll know who their Resto Druid is either, but either way they're playing Demonology, Havoc, and Resto Druid. So as a Resto Druid healing this composition, I know my Windwalker Monk is very tanky. I know that my Arcane Mage is also highly mobile, and likely the Demon Hunter doesn't want to chase him down and attack him. So what I'm expecting from them is a lot of swapping or even potentially training of myself throughout the match. So I want to always be aware that they want to kill me. I'm going to be the primary focus target, which means that it's going to be kind of scary to get up into the fight and look for cyclones. It may be better to just hang back sometimes, make sure that you've got your heal over time effects on yourself, and get ready for the fight. So I'm opting to run Overgrowth instead of Instant Wild Growth so that I can overgrowth any swaps in case they catch me off guard with no hots. So Overgrowth is a really good way to get your hots back up through that. So at the start of the fight, of course, you're going to want to throw 2 rejuvenations on as many of your party members as possible. So I hot up my Monk as I expect him to run in fairly early. My Mage is going to go in stealth, so he'll be last. And then I fully hot myself as I expect to be a primary target. Now that the Demon Hunter has kind of jumped away, he's kind of deciding his target. Once he opts to Fell Rush in, I know he's committed to me, so I jump in bear form. I get ready for the stun, and I move the Demon Hunter away from the Warlock, so it becomes a 1v1 between the Demon Hunter and myself, and I'm not afraid of him by himself without his Warlock. Then my team sets up stuns onto the Warlock for a kill, so I switch my hots over to my Monk. I pop an early Innervate, as this could be a mana-intensive fight. Then I want to make sure I'm spamming Rejuves, spamming Efflorescence, make sure that I'm always using a global cooldown for my hots, and at this point, the other Druid has used Tree Form, so it's a big burst healing cooldown, so we're not going to be looking to set up any damage, so I need to make sure that I'm safe during this point and just buy time. So I make sure I have Life Bloom. I look to try and get safe Cyclones. I was out of line of sight of the Warlock. He wasn't able to interrupt me, and the Demon Hunter was already CC'd. But now they start their big damage. I get stun locked, so I Bark Skin immediately. As soon as that stun hit, I had Bark Skin, and then your next reaction should be Bear Form as the Druid put Vortex down. So get out of that Vortex, get pulled back in, and then Displacer out. Once you've Displacered out, I've used Overgrowth to apply all of my heal over time effects. It would have been better to be closer to the pillar here to line of sight this incoming Cyclone. He kind of caught me off guard with that. Either way, it doesn't end up costing me too much moving into the rest of the game. Then I reposition 40 yards away from the Demon Hunter, switch my hots to the target that he's going after, which is the Mage. I then opt to Iron Bark my Mage as well because I expect the Demon Hunter to want to CC me into a fear, so they use a stun. Here they could swap. He uses Rain from above, so the Demon Hunter's actually in the sky, so I want to displace back to the pillar, get out of line of sight of him. He can't use his interrupt while he's flying up there, so I cast a Regrowth, try to get that out of the way while I can, hot up my partners. Then I look for CC because we're safe back here. I try to bash the Druid into a clone. The Demon Hunter interrupts it. So when you get interrupted, you jump in bear form, play defense, start pulling away from the fight. So if the Demon Hunter wants to chase after you, you can turn the situation into a 1v1. So now that I've got the Demon Hunter back here, I'm going to use Thorns. He has to opt to go into my Thorns and attack me, which is pressure for the Resto Druid. If this Demon Hunter stays on me and gets lower on health, we could make a swap, which could be scary for their Druid. So using Thorns like that to force the Demon Hunter away or to force him into a position where we get counter pressure. Here the Warlock sets up a stun by himself with Thalkeels and then followed up by a bash. So I immediately Overgrowth Bark Skin. That's going to trade out for his big damage right there. Then I try to hot up the rest of my team as my hots will do most of the work here. We secure a Primer from the Druid. Unfortunately, it gets reversed, so now I wasn't able to follow it up, but we managed to snag another Polymorph, so here's where I would like to look for a Cyclone. I end up getting silenced. I still want to go after it as the Demon Hunter doesn't have an interrupt, so I go for a D-Yard stun into a Cyclone, forcing his Trinket. Now they've used their stun on me. They're getting a lot of pressure. I've still got full hots. They've used their Fell Lord. That's a big commitment, so I want to make sure that I'm refreshing my Life Bloom, getting ready for the attack and healing during this time, not really looking for too many Cyclones. I've traded out my Iron Bark for that cooldown as well. and now I've thorns myself to pressure the Demon Hunter. So my partners are killing the Warlock, and I've basically been killing the Demon Hunter by myself. So you always want to be doing damage when you're fighting a Demon Hunter like this, always attacking with Thrash and Bear Form and using Thorns to pressure him. Here comes the Metamorphosis, so my immediate reaction is Bear Form, then look for a good escape. So I displace her across the pillar, across the map, to escape the Warlock's line of sight and any extra pressure that he could add to myself. I then start 1v1ing the Demon Hunter again in Bear, throwing out those Thrashes, the Moonfires, the Mangles. You also want to try and use Iron Fur when you have enough rage. So right here I believe I get enough rage to use Iron Fur, which will also reduce the incoming damage. And now I've got the Demon Hunter down at 60, the Warlock's at 20, the Druid's in a split position. He needs to heal his Warlock and his Demon Hunter, which will drag him into the open. And while the Druid is here in the open, he's susceptible to CC. So we paralyze him. I then can look for a free Cyclone as the Demon Hunter is flying in the air, unable to interrupt me. So I land a Cyclone onto his tree form, denying a lot of burst healing. I then am able to Cyclone him again because it's pulled him into a position of the open for me to get 3 Cyclones. Now I can see the Demon Hunter's kind of left me alone, so I switch my Life Bloom to hit the primary target that's lowest on health. Unfortunately, I think they're going to go after my Windwalker Monk. He's behind the pillar, so I am quite afraid for him, but I see him get Cycloned. So again, Demon Hunter's attacking me. What do I want to do? I want to make it a 1v1. Drag him behind the pillar, line of sight the Warlock's incoming pressure, just attack him. I'm literally throwing out Moonfires, stunning him up. Now here's where I opt for a Cyclone, but the Warlock shuts me down. So now that I've lost the opportunity, I don't want to fall behind. I jump in Bear Form. My team is getting pressure on their own with paralyzes and stuns. Once those are over, now I move in. I'm going to try and look for some CC. I clone the Demon Hunter at low health. That denies a little bit of pressure. We're waiting to get some CC onto the Druid, but he's line of sighting us. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So we switch our attention to the Demon Hunter. He gets bursted down, and now he was already low health from our pressure, so this is even more pressure for their Druid to have to heal through. But they reverse it with a lot of pressure there with their Vortex and the Fellord, so I Barkskin instantly. Don't hold that back. If I see the Fellord and the Stunlock combos, I'm always Barkskinning. In some cases, maybe if you were in Bear Form, you wouldn't need to use it in that situation, but now that their Fellord is over, they've gated away from that cooldown. I try to look for CC. I want to clone the Warlock at low health and deny any healing, but I get shut down. The Demon Hunter's using his Metamorphosis, so instead of looking for clones, I jump into Bear Form. It's the biggest cooldown from the Demon Hunter. Just make sure that you survive it. Now that you've survived it, look for CC. I get a Cyclone on the Druid. That forces his Trinket. The Warlock is still getting pressured at low health. I get silenced on the follow-up Cyclone. Now there's no way to prevent it. I go for another Cyclone, just relentless pressure, and I can do it with the safety of my own Iron Bark. So I Iron Bark myself. That reduces damage. Then I look for control on the team while I know that I'm more tanky. That allows us to push in aggressive on top of the Warlock. He's still pressured. I want to line of sight him a little bit here as I don't have Barkskin for 7 more seconds, so I line of sight the Demon Lock a little bit longer, try and get my hots up. I want to make sure that I'm ready with Barkskin. Now that Barkskin has come up, I look for CC. I clone the Demon Hunter out of Poly, my mage shifts the Poly over to the Druid, and with that triple cross CC, we end up landing the kill on the Warlock. So in my opinion here, when you're facing a Demon Hunter with heavy burst damage, you always want to play for safety first. Maintain your hots, try to drag him into a lot of 1v1 situations, burst him down with your Thorns, Moonfire, Mangle, and Thrash damage, always using global cooldowns, always using spells. There's always something you can optimally do in the match to try and get a little bit more ahead, a little bit more of an edge, because this fight could have easily been a mana battle if it had kept going on any longer. So focus on that when you're facing Demon Hunters, safety first.